Amigos, pues lo sabemos, millones de norteamericanos están pasándola muy mal para simplemente poder vivir. Hemos visto en otros videos que viven hasta en hoteles.
Bro, how are people making it? If you making $30 an hour, it's weird to ask that, but how are you making it? After you pay your rent, $1,500 a month, that's on the low side. Car note, $500 a month. Phone bill, $100 a month. Insurance, gas, food, electricity, health insurance, all these day-to-day expenses. How are people making it? You do the math and you come back and tell me what the numbers look like for you. Cause a person can make $30 an hour and is going to struggle. I can only imagine making $15 an hour. You cannot live on that. No, you cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot live on 15 or $30 an hour. Or you're going to stay broke.
What's up, America? It is too difficult to live here in the United States in the year 2025. Holy I have never seen a time when people require so much necessity just to live in America, but also the price for those necessities are so high. Most of America's literally living paycheck to paycheck and hand to mouth. At the same time, the requirements of responsibility to survive here in the United States have never been greater. People used to live a simple life, and is it complicated now and expensive? But if you don't have these expensive objects, you can't survive. You have to have a car, you have to have a phone, you have to have internet just to do anything anymore. And this shit's just baked into American society now. You can barely survive without a phone, a car, or internet. What the is going on here?
Y los políticos se la pasan hablando de que van a resolver el problema de los precios, van a resolver el llamado affordability crisis, pero la realidad, amigos, es que esto no va a suceder. Son demasiados problemas abiertos que ya tenemos en el sistema moderno, en la economía, y la realidad es que tenemos que encontrar otra forma de ver la vida, otra forma de encontrar calma, porque esa historia de que los precios bajen y haya mucho trabajo y que todos sean felices porque pueden comprar todo lo que quieran, ya se acabó.
So I'm currently on the apartment hunt for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and my budget used to be like under $1,500 because I was trying to save some money and pay off my student loans while like paying for rent, and it got me nowhere because now I have to move out of this apartment because it's not well maintained and I need a new apartment. What's frustrating is to then move into a newer apartment that you guarantee are not going to have problems at is like $1,800, $2,000, which is like insane to pay for an apartment while in grad school to guarantee that I'm living in safe conditions. Like, I just don't understand like how this is possible. How are people doing this?
So what's the end game? Like, what happens when the economy goes completely belly up and everything is absolutely too expensive to just exist? Because right now, it's almost impossible to be able to afford an apartment, to afford car insurance, to afford gas. Like, $100 for your cell phone every month, $80 just for internet service. Like, what happens when we just can't afford to live? Because as a single income household, this shit is damn near impossible right now.
Okay, serious question real quick. How are we supposed to afford life? I have 3 kids. What? And my husband and I both have full-time incomes. And I still am puzzled. Like, it's an enigma. Like, for real, why? I just left Walmart and got the bare minimum for groceries, like bare minimum, and cheap stuff, baby. We ain't eating salmon and steak, baby. We eating hamburger helper, some Doritos, like we getting like the Dino Nuggies, okay? Great value brand. Now, I did get 3 pairs of kids shoes because my kids are starting back to school and they need some new sneakers. But tell me why I got the bare minimum in groceries and 3 pairs of sneakers and I'm coming out just shy of $300. There's no way. This is crazy. Like, I had children on the understanding that if I worked hard and put my pennies away, that we would be okay. And now I'm feeling not okay. And then my intrusive thoughts just come in and they start thoughting, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I have 3 kids that are all very close together, which means they're all going to be in college at the same time. How in the world am I supposed to send them to college? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that like it's completely normal for people to just take out student loans and do all that. But I was lucky enough that my mother paid my way through college semester by semester, like the strong single mom she is, by making sacrifices because she didn't want me to have all that debt. And while I am not naive enough to know that I may not be able to do that for 3 children, I still hope to be able to help, you know, ease that burden. And I'm like, huh? How? Literally how? Mama, I don't know how much harder mama can hustle, okay? Mama is making the moolah, and the moolah is not spreading thinly, and I can't make it reach all corners. It's crazy.
I don't know how so many people are doing it because it's just so expensive. I mean, it's unfathomable. And the scary part is that 2026 isn't looking much better. And we're almost there. We are about to be 2026. I know what our family is doing is we are one of those families that just wants to be out of the city, live in the countryside, and be off grid. That's the ultimate goal. We want to grow our own food. We want to disconnect from utility companies. We want to do all of those things. And it is a major process, and it's not easy. It's not necessarily cheap, but it's something that anybody can work towards over time, and you can find affordable ways to do it.
Porque dense cuenta con estos videos que la gente no solo quiere lower inflation, la gente necesita que las cosas bajen de precio. Necesitan que algo que costaba $5 en un año termine, o en 2 o en 3, valga 1. Pero digan ustedes, ¿va a dar tiempo de que eso pase o nos va a caer un meteorito antes? Yo ahí se los dejo. La última vez que los precios bajaron de esa forma fue hace básicamente 100 años en la Gran Recesión. Estamos hablando de 100 años. Nos vamos a quedar esperando porque dudo que si me estás viendo aquí vivas otros 100 años.
I saw this video on here and she was like, what is a normal 2-income household nowadays? And I was reading through the comments, which I shouldn't have done. But me and my husband are blessed. We make good money, but yet we still struggle because we are essentially paying 3 mortgages every single month. We have our actual mortgage. We have our student loan debt, which my husband has a doctorate degree and I have a master's degree, so you can only imagine. And we also have daycare for 2 kids, which is a small mortgage. So literally over half of our income goes just to those 3 things. We're not talking about food, we're not talking about cars, we're not talking about insurances, we're not talking about savings, we're not talking about utilities. We're not talking about like clothing our kids, diapers.
I live in Virginia, and in Virginia, even if you own your vehicle, you still have to pay taxes on it every single year. It's called personal property taxes, and it can affect your cars, trailers that you have, campers, RVs, boats, anything along the lines of that. Even though you pay taxes on it when you purchase it, you're still going to pay taxes on it every single year, even if it's paid off. The area that I live in, we get 1 bill a year, and it is due at the end of every year, right around Christmas time. There are other areas that get a bill twice a year, so they have 2 smaller bills throughout the course of the year. So let's review our bill because it just came in the mail yesterday. The way it works is the county gets an assessed value for your item. So whether that's your car, camper, whatever it is, they give you an assessed value. And then there is a rate per $100 that you pay. This year's rate is $2.35 per $100 of the piece of property that you own. And then they charge you per month that you own that item. So if you had your car for 12 months, they're going to charge you for 12 months. If you owned it for 6 months and then got a different car, they'll charge you for the first 6 months for the first car and then the second 6 months for the second car. I had to fold this so you guys couldn't see my personal information. But for us to own our personal property in the state of Virginia this year, $2,104.45 is what we have to pay to the county right before Christmas time. Last year when I posted the video on how much we owed, everyone was like, oh, that probably includes like their registration and tags and all that. No, that is a whole separate charge. This bill right here is specifically for owning a car or camper, trailer, whatever, in the state of Virginia.
Y como les he dicho, amigos, esto no se trata de Estados Unidos, no se trata de México, se trata de todo el mundo, especialmente occidental. Podemos ver que en Canadá también los datos son demoledores, las cosas no dejan de subir de precio, el sentimiento, las sensaciones de la gente en Canadá cada vez son peores. Ahora, por ejemplo, el Reino Unido. ¿Están de acuerdo que estamos hablando de 3 países que son potencia, que son primer mundo, como nos gusta decir, ¿no? Estamos viendo que la generación Z pasa por una crisis irreal. 1.2 millones de recién graduados en el United Kingdom, en el Reino Unido, compite por solamente 17,000 roles, 17,000 trabajos abiertos, disponibles. Así de ridícula es la crisis. Es difícil dimensionar e imaginarlo y ver esto porque cada persona está aislada por ahí sufriendo en su computadora mandando aplicaciones. Pero amigos, las cosas están muy mal y, como te digo, dudo que eso se vaya a solucionar en los próximos 100 años.
I used to think that if I got a mortgage, it would stay the same forever. So when I bought a house, I had this mindset like, okay, cool. The mortgage is $2,400 a month, and that's just what it'll be for the next 30 years. I'll get raises, but that number stays the same. Except here's the thing, it doesn't. Even if your interest rate is fixed, your mortgage still goes up. Sometimes a lot because of escrow. Property taxes go up, your home insurance goes up, your escrow account comes up short, so your lender just increases your monthly payment to cover that. And it's not like it's optional, they just do it. So yeah, technically your loan is fixed or your rate is fixed, but your payment isn't. Nobody really explains that part until it hits your bank account.
How are we all living right now? In 2025, how are we all getting by? And this is no way political, so please leave that behind at the door. But in reality, friends, fellow Americans, how are we living? How are you getting by? I don't believe there's a middle class anymore. I believe middle class is now low income, and low income is now just not surviving.
Jen, what happened that you went through all of this?
What got me to November of 2024 living in my car?
Exactly.
The economy, for one. The money was coming in, but the rent was going sky high. I was working, taking care of my youngest, doing attendant care.
Take right exit 127 toward Florida Avenue.
Attendant care is when you provide their help with their daily living skills and teaching them certain activities, and you get paid through the state. And I was also doing DoorDash, and I was also doing Instacart, which is where you shop and deliver groceries to people.
Is it just you at this time, you and your children, your single mom at the time? How much were you paying for rent?
In 2019. The rent was $1,075. By the time November 2024 hit, the rent was $1,500, almost $1,600. If you were late 1 month, it was just like they would constantly, each day, every couple days, would just add more money to that. And there were, some places will give you the leniency of paying it over time and everything like that. But most places nowadays, they just want your money. If you can't pay, you're out. And that's where the court comes in effect, and then eventually being evicted. There's renter's assistance, but where I was located, there was a waiting list for it. So it was easier to be homeless than for me to actually stay in my apartment, because I would get more services if I was technically homeless living in my car.
I'm going to try and make it through this video without breaking down. Today is my son's 17th birthday. Happy birthday, my boy. He is 1 year away from the point that he is supposed to be leaving the house, going out into the world on his own, becoming an adult. And there's just absolutely no way. As I look at the prospects for what his future is potentially going to look like in the state of the world, in the state of our country today, it absolutely enrages me. 10 years ago, I made 1/3 what I do right now. My partner did not work, and we had virtually no debt, and we're getting by just fine. Absolutely no problems at all. Today, I make 3 times as much. She works at a job that requires a master's degree, and not just working full-time, working so much more than full-time. And we are barely getting by. Don't get me wrong, we are getting by, which is to say that we are doing better than a lot of other people who are absolutely not getting by right now. But we are barely keeping our heads above water and living check to check, even making 4 times at this point what we did 10 years ago. And every time I turn around, all I see in the corporate world is record-breaking profits, record-breaking profits. And every time I hear that, all I hear is record-breaking theft, record-breaking fraud, record-breaking extortion, because those record profits are the stolen wages of the workers. CEOs and the billionaire class are the only non-essential component of our economic system, period. If all of them disappeared tomorrow, if all of them were somehow eliminated from the equation, it would not affect our day-to-day lives or the functionality of corporations or any other businesses as a whole at all. We would see no disturbance in our lives, save for being unburdened by their greed and extortion. That is it. I look at companies like Walmart. They are one of the most profitable companies in the world, and they are the largest employer of SNAP benefit recipients. They have more workers who are on benefits while being one of the most profitable companies in the world. And that's why they're that profitable, is because they pay nothing, because they are allowed to pay nothing. We have to flip the table and stop playing their game.
Así que pues así las cosas, no solo en Estados Unidos, sino en toda la civilización occidental, en Europa también. Luego les voy a traer unos datos, en Estados Unidos por supuesto, aquí en México también. Entonces, amigos, como les digo siempre, lo que hay que hacer es encontrar paz interna, porque si uno está en paz va a poder encontrar las respuestas más claras sin importar el entorno vital que te rodee, sin importar todo este caos. Claro que va a afectar, pero tú siempre vas a encontrar las respuestas si trabajas en ti mismo, si estás en paz y si estás alineado con tu verdadero yo, por decirlo de una forma sencilla, ¿no? Así que bueno, pues cuídense mucho, déjenme en los comentarios cómo les está yendo, qué opinan de estos datos que les traje en este caso de otros países, porque sí son datos demoledores. Pero bueno, cuídense, nos vemos para el próximo video. Y ya saben que mi objetivo aquí es demostrarle al mundo cuál es el nuevo sueño americano. No son cosas que nos encante escuchar, que nos encante ver, que nos encante oír, pero es necesario hablar de la realidad para poder, digamos, después empezar un camino nuevo. El primer paso para resolver un problema es reconocerlo. Y esto aplica a todos los niveles, ¿no? Así que pues nada, cuídense mucho, nos vemos para la próxima.